Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another Chart Nerd TA video. We're going to be diving into Chainlink today and doing some technical analysis for you guys. Diving straight into this, is Chainlink looking for a bit more of a correction here? Is it going to hold support? Is this an accumulative zone? You know, all of these speculations and, you know, everyone has a different opinion on what these projects are doing. But, you know, what we need to do here is keep it sweet and simple and just keep zoomed out, look at the larger time frames and the perspective that of growth that Chainlink has had since its inception has been insane. You know, from when it first came out in the market in 2019, you know, it had a long run of 826 days, guys, of literally continuous uptrend. Of course, you've got corrections, but the general trend direction was to the upside for a very long time, for at least a good few years. So for something to come up so parabolic, of course, you know, it's going to need some sort of cool off stage before it does decide to eventually pick up somewhere and resume the heat that it had before, you know, and get that sort of retail investment buyers back in and the market conditions. You know, there's loads of factors involved here that we need to look at in regards to the general space and the movement of risk off assets at the moment. So, you know, we need to keep our wits about us and just embrace the fact, okay, that this is normal. Okay, what we're going through is normal. Everything else in the market is going through something very, very similar. Okay, but, you know, what can we be looking out here for? So what we need to keep our eyes on for Link here is this local low, okay, which currently sits at around $5.30, I think it is, isn't it? And you can see that for a while that Link's basically been accumulating, been in some sort of range, okay, where you're literally bouncing between resistance and support. The EMAs are coming down. You're hitting your heads on all of these EMAs. Okay, and what you got to remember at the same time here, okay, one thing that's quite negative is the more you hit your head on these EMAs, okay, and the more you struggle to break through resistance, the more likely you are to get squeezed into this sort of corner where you expect some sort of crash or loss of multi-month support here that Link has had. So we are looking for some sort of trend break here out of this sort of box that we've been in for a while and ranging around. I mean, for me, for any sort of bullish momentum for it to occur here, again, we are at support currently. If we do start to come up, I think you're looking for these EMAs again, and these have acted as key resistance. So you've got the 20 here as the yellow and the 10 as the blue. So for many moons since you started entering this downtrend, you can see from the where you put in the all-time high, okay, then you started to get lower highs and depleting buying pressure. Once you lost support, you can see here you lost support, turned it to resistance, and you crashed. But whenever you've been under these EMAs, okay, so you have a death cross here, you're under the EMAs, you did come back above, but this is where you put in the lower highs to the all-time high, and then you started inputting even lower highs on the way down in this trend. And then since this point around here, I think it was around November 2021, under the EMAs, okay, you can see you're literally in a massive downtrend, and you've been stuck under them ever since, okay. So the 10 and 20 is not lit. It's been tested many times on the weekly here for Link, but it's never been broken through, okay, or sustained. You know, you do get these fake outs above the EMAs, okay. Here you hit it bang on and got rejected. Again, here you got rejected by the 20. Here you had the little overshoot, okay, but the close was on the 20 and you got rejected again. You got rejected by the 20 again. You know, you're continuously hitting your head on resistance and of these EMAs, should I say, and until Chainlink starts to manage to sort of, you know, get its way back above these EMAs, holding it as support and tackling out of this range high of resistance, which currently sits around $9.20, you know, then we can't look for much bullish momentum at the moment. Okay, I do think that potentially what we have on our hands here is for the early part to mid part of 2023, maybe some sort, again, with accumulation zone where the Link could literally be in a range for a while here, just cool off and you could accumulate. Okay, that's one way to look at how it could possibly go. Again, a time frame on the market is very tricky. Okay, we need to look at EMAs and other indicators moving forward. So I mean, to finally conclude on Link, all right, so my nearish short-term prediction would probably be, I do think because we keep getting hit by these EMAs, and we are, again, down here, look, these weekly candle closes are lower than the previous weekly candles, okay, so you can literally see, you are producing sort of lower highs in regards to candle closes, lower lows in regards to candle closes here, and then you're producing lower highs. So unless you start to break out of this resistance, again, you're literally caught between a rock and a hard place. Unless you start to come up here and tackle this resistance, okay, this descending resistance on your head, and get back above these EMAs, I don't see that Link's got a very good chance of breaking out here just yet. Okay, that's not to say that, you know, we can't pump at this current price and run up into these EMAs once again, because we could. And on the weekly from current price, if that was to occur, you know, you're looking at a 20% rally back into those EMAs where a decision would be made. But again, we are sort of coiling down. You've got this downwards pressure on us at the moment, and until we break, there's another key resistance line I wanted to show you guys before I go. Here on the monthly, before we actually start to break out, we've got key resistance above us that we need to look to break out of. So ever since you started, you put this high in, okay, you came to a low, you ran into it as resistance, came down, ran into it again as resistance. Again, you've continuously been hitting your head on this trend line. Okay, we came into it again as resistance here in November 2022, and then December, okay, you've had this loss of support. What you can see here, what I was anticipating for Link actually, okay, so you've got this trend line. I'm going to take these EMAs off for a minute. On the monthly here, what I was anticipating is you could see that you had these higher lows. Okay, you was coiling up here with these higher lows. You had this horizontal level of resistance. Okay, and it did look like you was forming some sort of ascending triangle where you was building up, and you know, we was looking for the break of this resistance and the break of this trend line, and to sort of give us some sort of continuation in the near short term. And I was looking for a breakout, I do believe, from there to there. Whenever Chainlink, if Chainlink was to have done it, you know, I was looking for Chainlink to rally back up to around $12, but unfortunately that didn't occur. Okay, and what we did is we literally had this bear market rally up into resistance that we'd previously been hitting our heads on the monthly, and we met that as resistance once again. So what's not to say that potentially what's going on here for Chainlink after this large monthly candle correction that we had in December, okay, now we could be coming up to test this resistance area again. If you do get pushed down, okay, we're going to have downside targets. So what are those downside targets moving forward for Chainlink? Well, going back to the weekly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fib on, and I'm going to show you some patterns here and previous areas of support. So going from this local high here at $9.50, we're retracing back down to the local low, or our current low that we put in back in June. Okay, if that's to be lost, okay, if you start to come down and you do see $5.29 lost, straight away for me, you're looking at $4.54. Now, what's ironic about this price here, okay, at this 1272, you can see if you tie up a trend line to the 1272, if you was to lose $5.29, so this price here of $4.54, it actually brings you back to the previous resistance area during the bull run back in during 2019 to 2020, where you started to come up. Okay, you had the COVID crash, but this was a key level of resistance that once Chainlink broke out, didn't actually backtest support. You can see since it broke out, it melted above the EMAs, held the EMAs in this massive bull run, and since then has started to retrace. Okay, so what I'm looking for here potentially, okay, and this is only if Chainlink loses this $5.29 mark, is a retracement to that $4.54, because that also brings you back to this previous resistance that you haven't back tested since you broke out. Okay, so you've literally come up, you've broke out, and right now what you're doing is potentially rolling down, looking to come back down to from this previous breakout here on the 1272 at $4.54. Excuse my messy drawings. So that's primarily what I'm looking for here. Again, what we would have to see is a close outside of this support range, okay, where Chainlink's been holding on for all this time, running back up into these EMAs, but it's continuously being rejected with lower highs. If you do start to lose support and lose this local low that we put in June, okay, I would expect that $4.50 to be the minimum target coming forward, where you retrace back down to this area for support. Okay, again, as you can see, since you broke out of this resistance, you didn't come back to it. Okay, you didn't come back to it. What you need to see for good continuation is a nice pump, come back to support, get the second large breakout, but we didn't. We just shot up. Right now you're paying the price, and we're retracing back down to those levels, looking for support for Chainlink there. So again, guys, just to finish off, this is not the end of the world. I think Chainlink's an amazing project, and you know, it's just had such an amazing long leg, okay, of upside. Okay, it's nice to have some sort of cool off. It doesn't feel nice, but it's healthy for a project to come up and sort of roll down and work in waveforms. Okay, you don't want something that goes straight up like this, because what happens is it just comes straight back down. Okay, and they're called pump and dumps. I'm not going to get into that anyway, but yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content today. If you did, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. As always, I appreciate your support. From Chart Nerd TA, take care. Peace out.